Mark Denzler's the president and CEO of the Illinois Manufacturing Association, and Pritzker and other liberal states, they are all still pushing for everything to be electric, and it's expensive. So Mark's going to talk about the electrification of Illinois being mandated and what it's costing them. Hi, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Fawn. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Great to catch up again on something that's non-cool related.
I know. I'm just like this. This doesn't make any sense to me. Why would Illinois, with the problems that are going on in the budget, with the pension system, with the taxation, with everything else, why would they want to add another thing to the list of things people have to endure?
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, people are already right now in central and southern Illinois and the Ameren territory facing bills that are about 20% higher because we don't have enough supply, and that is due in large part to policies at the state level and some at the federal level that are closing our baseload generation of our coal plants and our natural gas plants and pushing everyone to electrification, and the cost on Illinois families and businesses is massive.
Yeah. So when we say electrification, what are we talking about? Because I know when Biden was in office, he was trying to mandate the entire nation on cars, on ceiling fans, on stoves, on water heaters. I mean, on everything had to be electric. First of all, the grid's not ready for that. But second of all, it's expensive.
It is. There's advocates that when I say electrify, that there's building ordinances now that any new in Chicago is looking at this, for example, too, that any new building has to be all electric. It can't be fueled with natural gas, for example. And you think just an average home, if you have your average home of 1,500 square feet, that means they don't want you to have a gas stove for cooking, and they want you to have an electric heat pump instead of a gas, fired heater. And those kinds of things, the average family then would have to go out and actually buy all new appliances. It would be a couple $1,000s to retrofit a house. Mm-hmm. And then your cost of creating the electricity. Natural gas, for example, is abundant. It's affordable. It burn, or you can get it 24/7. The sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow.
Mm-hmm. So how are you fighting back? Because I know you guys have a big voice. You're a big part of what happens with the success of Illinois. If this goes south, the whole state's just going to. I mean, this might be the straw on the camel's back.
Well, I would tell you states right now that are leading in energy and workforce and how quickly you can get a shovel in the ground are winning on economic development. And the fact of the matter, Fawn, is we don't live on an island. We're in grids. The southern central Illinois with the MISO grid, and up north is the PJ&M. And so as we close this generation in Illinois, these natural gas plants or coal plants, we can't build enough renewables fast enough, meaning prices are going to go up. And at the end of the day, we're just going to we're going to start bringing energy in from other states, and then jobs are going elsewhere, and our costs continue to go up. And so, again, energy is such an important thing, whether it's a family or a business. And so what we're doing is we put out a study with the American Natural Gas Alliance and our friends in organized labor because they're concerned about jobs and costs for the union members.
Sure.
So we put that out, and then we're participating. There's a big legislative push to try to pass a massive energy bill, and we're opposed to it. We're in the room, and we're talking to lawmakers about the impact of higher electricity costs.
Well, and why can't they factor in the work that has gone into emission reductions? I mean, I don't even know why they're so worried about carbon pollution. I get, but carbon dioxide is just stupid. We need that. It's a good thing. But they don't factor in all of the money you've already spent for emission reductions, and now that was all thrown in the garbage because you're going to have to take this other giant leap in the other direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. Manufacturers have reduced emissions more than any other sector since 1990, and we've increased productivity. And what you have to do, as opposed to mandating things, is encourage companies or encourage, activity by homeowners. If, for example, I want to put solar on a roof, we can do that, but we shouldn't be forced to do that. And energy policy is just so important. We're already seeing higher prices at gas pumps and grocery stores for various reasons, but everybody has to have power. They have to make sure their house is heated in the winter, it's cooled in the summer. It can be a health issue. And we just need the state to realize it, that we can't be so uncompetitive that we're not going to attract any new jobs to the state of Illinois.
Well, and you're not. I mean, it's that simple. Neither is California. It's gonna be zombie land because people are gonna be like, I don't want to live like this. We are not ready for this big of a leap. There might be a day when this is a good thing or when it's affordable, but today's not that day.
You're right. I mean, we need an all-the-above approach. We're not saying no to renewable energy, for example, and electrifying certain things, but, it can't be mandated on folks. They have to make those decisions, and the whole country and the whole world is moving in that direction. Everybody wants clean air and water, and everyone is moving in that direction. But again, when we mandate, and particularly with Illinois doing it and other states not doing it, it just makes us less attractive, and it makes it harder for jobs to locate here. So again, we're significantly cleaner and greener than we were 5 years ago or 20 years ago, but a lot of that is consumer-driven and business-driven by decisions that they've made.
So think about the number of population that would be affected by this, just and not be able to afford it. It's got to be in the millions.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have 13 million people or so in the state of Illinois right now. Who are already paying 15, 20% higher energy costs right now this summer. And going to something where you're further electrifying it before the technology is available and the costs are significant. As I said, your average household is going to pay several $1,000s just to have to put in their new stove that's electric. And, chefs don't like that either. If you go to a nice restaurant, they don't want to cook on an electric stove. They want to cook on a gas stove.
Every time you say gas stove, I think of Gordon Ramsay. He would pitch a special kind of fit. You donkey. Yeah, he'd have fun with that one. But I prefer a gas stove, but when I bought my house, it had an electric stove. So I'm like, meh. It's all right, But
Yvonne, if they came to you and said, you just built your new house, it's only 10 years old, but by the way, you're now going to have to get rid of all that gas and make it all electric.
Yeah,
you're not going to be happy in the cost that you're going to have to pay to redo your house and then buy all your new appliances. Or you start thinking about, we've seen mandates introduced in Illinois and certainly some cities around that no gas-fired lawnmowers anymore, lawn equipment. They all have to be electric. And again, the whole grid, our grid, as you mentioned, is not built for it right now. Our transmission lines, we struggle. We've got to get more generation. So energy is a huge issue now, and it's going to be for many years.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. A lot of people's houses are going to mysteriously burn down. I'm just saying. They're just going to be like, screw it. President and CEO, Illinois Manufacturing Association, Mark Denzler, where do they go to read up more on this?
Yep, they can visit our website, www.ima-net.org.
Okay. And no, I'm not suggesting anybody do that. I'm just saying they're putting people in a corner. I mean, they're going to do whatever they got to do to escape. So you can't put baby in a corner. Thank you, Mark.
Yep. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.